Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Flashlight Crazy. Today I'm doing a comparison video between the Fenix HT18 over here and the Nitecore P30i. Let's check them out. Okay, first things first, we are going to compare the accessories. So, Nitecore's holster is this, Fenix holster is this. Now, let's see how they both work. So, the Nitecore's goes in, lines up, comes over the top. There we have it. You can slot it through your belt buckle, clip it onto a bag with this metal bit here. I mean, it's not anything fancy, nothing to write home about, but don't really have complaints. It's a holster, it'll do the job, and they obviously haven't poured too much funds into it, but that being said, it doesn't look like it's gonna fail easily either. Now the Fenix holster, let's see. Okay, so first thing I've just noticed is the Velcro on the Fenix is a lot tougher. Now this is also gonna go in lens up, whack it in like that, come over the top. Now the material feels a little bit more flimsy than in the Nitecore's holster. You have a plastic buckle here, whereas the Nitecore had a metal. But as far as the belt area goes, very tough, very secure. So again, no real dramas with it. It's gonna do the job, and it's also nothing to write home about. Okay, next with the Nitecore, you will get an 18650 sleeve. And with the Fenix, you will also get an 18650 sleeve. So both of these lights can be used in their, obviously in their 21700, but also in their 18650 configuration if you want to slot an 18650 in there. Next, we have a pressure switch with the Nitecore. So this is really nice to see because it's not the hunting kit, and yet it still comes with a pressure switch. So that's cool. You just clip this pressure switch into the top here like that. Slot that in there, and then this little clip comes over the top of it to secure it in there so it won't come out. You have to actually unlatch it and then pull to release it. So that's something that the Fenix does not give you. However, the Fenix gives you a red and a green diffuser. Holy moly, that is awesome. So while you don't get the pressure switch, you do get a red and green diffuser, and this isn't even a hunting kit. So really nice to see from the Fenix. Both lights come with your USB-C to USB-A charging cables, and with the Fenix, you will charge that not in the light. As you can see, there is no onboard charging. So the Fenix charges the battery directly, so you've got to pull the battery out, which I love. Whereas the Nitecore will charge directly from the top there. The Nitecore will come with a pocket clip, whereas the Fenix will not. So that's a kind of plus as well, because you can clip this to your belt if you don't want to use the holster. I like that. And the Fenix will come with a lanyard and 2 spare O-rings, and the Nitecore will come with 1 spare O-ring. Okay, both will come with a provided 5000 milliamp, 3.6 volt, 21700 battery. Now the Fenix has a spring at both ends, so weapon mounting this light will not risk losing contact during recoil. And the Nitecore has a spring down towards the head, but no spring at the tail. I don't know if that will affect contact during recoil. I wouldn't think so, just because of how tightly squeezed the battery is. So let me show you. Popping the battery down there, and then it is coming out a fair bit. The threads are going to go all the way down here, so I wouldn't imagine that it'll lose contact even during recoil. Alrighty, so let's go over the design and feel first. See how they both feel in the hands. So starting with the Nitecore, it's got a very big head, but fits in your hand really nicely when holding it EDC. So side button right here. If you kind of curl your 3 fingers around the body, your pointer finger around the neck, your thumb will naturally just fall onto that side switch there. And you've got your momentary turbo from off, which is a really cool, cool characteristic I like. Now, holding it tactically as well, very, very comfortable. I would have liked it if the body was maybe slightly longer because I've got kind of large hands. So the fingers get a little bit, just they need a bit more room around the body, I reckon. But nothing to cry about. It still operates very, very well with the tail clicky. And despite the head being very large, it's actually not very heavy. It's not very top heavy, this light. So a lot of the weight is in the body and the neck and body due to the battery. So it kind of balances the weight out quite nicely, actually. Now, if we look down there, you will see the Cree XHP35 high LED. There it is. And that is embedded down an enormous and very deep smooth reflector. So that's really nice. Now, if we just move down to the neck, you've got some very deep heat sink areas. So they are going to help with heat dissipation dramatically. And then down the body has wasted no fat whatsoever. Very, very thin 21700 body. Very comfortable to even hold cigar grip like this. Not a problem in the world. And the tail clicky is absolutely beautiful. Very, very responsive and sensitive. And just a pleasure to click in and out. You really feel that click, which is nice. And you've got your onboard charging in the tail cap there. It makes it easy to charge. However, I do like lights not to have any onboard charging just because I feel like they're more sturdy and strong in terms of water resistance. That's it. That's just my preference. It's not necessarily a problem. In fact, I don't think it's a problem, but it's just my preference. All right, now if we swap this out and check out the Fenix. So the Fenix is very smooth just by feeling it after the Nitecore. You know, the Nitecore's got all these ribs and things around it. Fenix, especially the head, is just smooth as anything. And one thing the Fenix has that the Nitecore doesn't is a different colored bezel. So it's got this silver, almost actually gunmetal gray bezel. Really adds some character to the light, doesn't it? And now if we look down the face of that, you will see the SFT40 LED. Beautiful LED. And that is also embedded down a very, very deep and quite large smooth reflector. And in fact, in terms of depth, I think the Fenix is deeper. It is, actually. The Fenix LED comes back here, whereas the Nitecore is about here. So that's a deeper reflector you've got there in the Fenix. Now, the neck also offers some heatsink areas, but I've got to say they are not as deep as the Nitecores. Check that out. Now, you also have a side switch here, and to be honest, it's not as comfortable as the Nitecores. So if the side switch was up here, it would be as comfortable as the Nitecores for my hand. But because it's back here, you've kind of got to shift your grip back a bit, and it just feels like it's a bit too far back. Now, it's not a problem because this is a subjective issue. It just depends on the size of your hands. But for my hands, for the size my hands are, it's more comfortable to hold a light like this, and the Nitecore just does that for me perfectly. Whereas the Fenix, look at this. This is where I would like the Fenix's button to be, up here. So for that reason, yeah, I like the Nitecore better for EDC grip for my hands. Now, one thing about the Fenix doesn't have that the Nitecore does is the Fenix has absolutely no function with the side switch from off, none whatsoever. Whereas Nitecore has momentary turbo when you press it, like that. Now, moving down to the body, you've got your typical Fenix body, beautiful body, very, very grippy, no rough edges or anything like that. So really nice. They use this style of finishing on lots and lots and lots of their different models. And same as the tail cap design as well. Lots and lots of their models have this tail cap design, the little line, dot. Now, as far as tail clicky goes, oh yeah, extremely responsive, very sensitive, and a nice click on it as well. Let's see. Oh, okay, nah. So the Nitecore's click kills it. It really does. It's firmer, it's sturdier. The Fenix click is still good, but it just feels a little bit flimsy when clicked in comparison with the Nitecore. However, much more sensitivity with momentary than the Nitecore. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. You barely have to touch it with the Fenix and you get your momentary. So that's pretty cool. Now, just while I was doing that, I noticed, I may as well tell you guys now, green and blue. So battery indicator is green for Fenix and it's blue for Nitecore. Nitecores will stay on, Fenix will flash green and then leave. Both of them, I believe, will flash red when you got dramas with your battery. And neither of these lights will tail stand because they just do not have that capability. All right, so let's dive into the measurements. So the Fenix from head to tail, you've got 18.5 centimeters. And the Nitecore falls shorter than that at 17.5 centimeters. So centimeter difference in size. There it is. In height, I should say. Now, Fenix face width, including the outside of the bezel, comes in at 6.7 centimeters, actually. And the Nitecore comes in at 6.8 centimeters. So very, very close. 1 millimeter difference in width, and that is to the Nitecore, larger. Now, width to the body is 2.5 for the Nitecore and 2.6 for the Fenix. And the tail cap for the Nitecore is 2.8 and the Fenix is 2.8 as well. So very, very similar, just height that's different. 1 millimeter thicker in the body is the Fenix, and 1 millimeter wider in the face is the Nitecore. All right, let's weigh them. So without the battery, the Nitecore weighs 256 grams, and then the battery weighs 76 grams. So roughly 330 grams when you put them together. And the Fenix included with the battery is 295 grams. So the Fenix is actually 35 grams, give or take a gram, lighter than the Nitecore. And yep, I can believe that, definitely. However, I must say that because the Nitecore's side switch is so high up, your grip on this light is brilliant. It's a really clever design because you're holding the light so far up that the weight of it does not really come into play. Whereas with the Fenix, because you're holding it down, because the side switch is here, you've got all the weight of the head kind of weighing you down a bit. So now, let me be clear. When I say weighing you down, I'm not saying you're going to fall over. I'm not saying that this is going to weigh you down and you're going to be, leaning to one side. But I am saying that the Nitecore has a much more balanced weight in the way you hold it because the side switch is so far up the head. Whereas with the Fenix, it's not as balanced. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's go over outputs, shall we? And UI. So both of these lights need to be turned on with their tail switches. The Fenix side switch, as I mentioned, does nothing from off, and the Nitecore side switch gives you momentary from off, momentary turbo. But check this out. 1, 2, 3. And you've got beacon. And then if I long press during beacon, here we go. You've got SOS. So you have two special modes activated from off with the Nitecore. And let me just check if the Fenix triple clicks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, nothing. Okay, so that's pretty cool. If I want that off, single click, off. So from off, the Nitecore has momentary turbo, 1, 2, 3, beacon, and then from beacon, long press, SOS. If I long press again, it'll just go back to beacon, long press again, SOS. And now click, off. So that's the from off with the side switch. Now, to turn these lights on, just click the tail switch and then you cycle from the side switch. Okay, so on your lowest mode, the Fenix has 30 lumens. That's gonna last you 61 hours. The Nitecore is 6 lumens and that's gonna last you 100 hours. So I've gotta say, 6 lumens, that's a pretty good low for such a beast light. So I'm gonna give a point to the Nitecore for that one for sure. Now, next cycle up, you just press the side switch once. So press and press. Now the Fenix comes in at 150 lumens. You're going to get that for 20 hours and 15 minutes. Whereas the Nitecore comes in at 85 lumens, which you're going to get for 18 hours. So already we're noticing that the Fenix has a better runtime because it's got more lumens and more runtime, whereas the Nitecore, less lumens and less runtime. I don't know. Okay, cycling up and cycling up. So now we've got the Fenix at 500 lumens for 4 hours and 15 minutes. Sorry, 4 hours and 15 minutes, 500 lumens, Fenix over here. And the Nitecore is 385 lumens for 4 hours. Now let's start doing distance. So on 500 lumens over here, the Fenix is going to reach 570 meters. And on 385 lumens with the Nitecore, that is going to reach 447 meters. All right, let's cycle up again. Cycling up, cycling up. So now the Fenix is at its turbo, which is 1500 lumens. You're going to get that for an hour and 40 minutes, but it does have an asterisk next to it, and it is going to reach 925 meters. Now, those numbers are going to be reduced with the 18650 battery if you choose to use that. Whereas the Nitecore over here, this has an extra output. So this is on high, which is 1000 lumens. You're going to get that for an hour and 30 minutes, and it's going to reach 722 meters. Now, if I cycle the Fenix, it's going to go back down to its 30 lumen low. But if I cycle the Nitecore, it goes up to its turbo, which is 2000 lumens. You're going to get that for 30 minutes with an asterisk. So that is going to deplete the battery significantly, but you will reach 1000 meters of distance with that. And that's 250,000 candela. Whereas I forgot to say the candela rating of the Fenix on turbo, I'll just get it back there, is 214,184 candela. Now, both of these lights are 1 meter drop resistance, and both of these lights are 2 meters water submersibility. So that's pretty cool. You wouldn't think so with the Nitecore's charging port at the back there, but it rates it at that. So I guess it is that. Now, from on, if I press and hold the side switch, the Fenix is going to go into strobe. And single press, back to your last output. Now, from on in the Nitecore, if I press and hold the side switch, it goes to turbo, and that is a constant on, not a momentary. Now, if I single click, straight back to your last output. So that's pretty cool. You can be on, let's say your low mode, you got 85 lumens, walking around, checking things out. All of a sudden, you want, some turbo, press and hold, oi, what the heck? And then, okay, coast is clear, single press, back to your low mode, and away we go. Now, in both of these lights, you cannot turn them off from the side switch. So press all you like, press and hold, double click, triple click, nothing is going to turn it off. You have to change your grip and click the tail switch. All right, let's do a bit of a heat test. I think they're both on turbo, but let's just make sure. Okay, so that's on turbo, yeah? Yep. So 1, 2, 3 is turbo. And that was turbo. I'll just press and hold to get it there. All right, let's do a heat test, and I'll fast forward this so we don't, we're not sitting here for, days. All right, and after that amount of time, they are both still very, very cool. So no issues with heat at all. I couldn't tell if there was a step down. I'll try to have a look during the video when I look at it back if there was a step down. But wow, the heat on them is so manageable that they are barely warm. So that is really, really incredible. Well done to both of them. And there's a bit of a satellite view for you for each of them. There's the Nitecore, there's the Fenix. And let's head outside, see how they do in the dark, and we'll be back for some final thoughts, prices, where to buy, and all the good stuff. See you in a sec. All right, here's the Fenix, Nitecore. Fenix, Nitecore. So more distinct hotspot in the Fenix, but the Nitecore is a much larger hotspot and seemingly just as bright. Fenix, Nitecore. I must say, actually, the Fenix has a better clarity of hotspot at a distance. So my vision is clearer, definitely, with the Fenix. Yep. I can see better. Even though the hotspot's larger, it's just milky with the Nitecore. I can still see things, but I can actually see clearly, more clearly, with the Fenix. Over in the field now, we got the Fenix, Nitecore, Fenix, Nitecore. Fenix. Nitecore. All right. Okay, so wow, yeah, really, really brilliant lights, both of them. In terms of performance, I do think that the Fenix's hotspot is better. It is more distinct, but the Nitecore is putting out more light, no doubt about it. But the hotspot is milky at a distance, whereas the Fenix maintains its clarity of hotspot at a distance. Just depends on a personal preference. I like the Fenix hotspot better. But I like the Nitecore's UI better, and I like the Nitecore's feel in the hand better when you're holding it EDC style. All right, so both of these lights are available at lightshop.com.au right now. Now, price will come into it because the Fenix HT18 is $220 and the Nitecore is $325. So that's $105 difference. Wow, is it worth it? Oh, I don't know. Look, which one would I pick? If I had the money, I'd go the Nitecore. Absolutely, hands down. I love the UI better. I love the more lumens. And I don't mind the milky hotspot either. It's kind of cool. And it doesn't bother me, not even in the slightest. But if money was a concern or I was on a budget, I would definitely get the Fenix and I would not be concerned about that or worried at all. It is a great light, very, very strong. No onboard charging, so you don't have to worry about that. And I mean, it speaks for itself. You saw the night shots. It's absolutely beautiful. All right. Thanks for watching another comparison on Flashlight Crazy. Don't forget, stay cool and stay safe. See ya.